Hello friends, today we are going to discuss a very important type of fallacy, which is part of the fallacy of oversimplification. And this fallacy comes from using the quotations extensively to prove our point. Friends, you will find that in all social media platforms, in all essays, all type of writings, you will find that people use quotations to support their claim, to strengthen their point of view. And most of the people accept those quotations because those quotations are coming from some highly respected figures, and they don't scrutiny the statements and the quotations. As a result, they arrive at the wrong conclusion. So friends, today we are going to discuss this type of fallacy, how people are fooled by the quotations. So let's proceed and understand first what is the meaning of quotation. A quote is to repeat exactly something that somebody has said or written somewhere. That means verbatim we quote whatever somebody has said, and that somebody, of course, means somebody who is very important, somebody who is very accomplished person. So why these quotations are used? Because quotations are very concise statements or phrases that expresses a thought, idea, or opinion which is often attributed to a very notable person, author, or philosopher, or scriptures. So the source of the quotation is very important, because what happens that we attach the value of the quote to the credibility of the person. So if the person is credible, then we believe that quote is also of very high value or importance. Quotations can be very inspiring, they can be very thought-provoking, they can be humorous, they can also give you a lot of insight and very unique perspective of life, which we are generally not able to gather from our personal experiences. They pertain to different fields. For example, quotations can be related to life, success, love, or practically everything which is there, what we are dealing with. So quotations basically has a very important role to play describing our thoughts and motivating us. So what is the difference between quotation and proverb? Now, both of them are very similar. Like proverb, quotations are also a very great source of wisdom. But proverbs stand on its own because we don't know who has said that. So the wisdom of quotation is taken in isolation. And it is basically something which we value because of the wisdom which is there in the proverb. As far as the quotation is concerned, of course, the wisdom part is present, but more than that, it is the authority from where the quotation has originated that is also of equal importance. That means if the authority is great or the source is great, then most people tend to believe that. For example, if it is coming from a religious source or some very famous scientist like Einstein, then most of the people will be willing to accept it without any scrutiny. The question is that why quotations are creating a fallacy. So first of all, we should understand that quotations are presented in isolation, out of context. Because you see, quotations are not written, they are part of the whole. One book is there, and in book there is some line, or in a speech there is some line, and that line becomes a quotation. We don't read the whole speech or the whole book to understand the context in which that particular line or sentence has been used. So that is generally given out of context, and we choose the meaning which suits us. Quotations are basically used very frequently to prove a point by citing the authority or source. So we say, look, this has been said by Lord Krishna, or it is there in Gita or Bible or Quran, or Einstein has said that, and therefore this must be true. They're very frequently used and they have a great persuasive power. But we must understand that quotations are just the opinion of the particular person or the source, because it is not based on facts, evidence, or study. There is no study behind that quotation. It is just opinion. And most of the time what happens, that the authority which we are quoting or using is somebody who is not expert in the particular area. For example, Albert Einstein was a great scientist, physicist, but he was not a very religious person. And his quotations concerning the religion is not of much value. Likewise, the holy books like Gita or Quran or Bible or Vedas and all that, they are good as far as the religion is concerned. But when it comes to science, it comes to the material world, then they may not have any expertise on that. And on that respect, if you are using those quotations, they may generally not be of good value. For example, let's take the quotation of Albert Einstein, who made many quotations relating to God. For example, he said, God does not play dice with the world. When the solution is simple, God is answering. Or he has also said, I want to know God's thought. The rest are details. Now, these are the quotations which are very frequently used by people to justify that Einstein also believed in God. And therefore, God must exist because he was such a great scientist, such a great physicist. So, how can you say that the science does not believe in God? But Albert Einstein had a very different idea of God. And he has expressed this idea in his letter, which was dated 24th of March 1954, to an Italian immigrant, Joseph T., where he said, it was, of course, a lie what you read about my religious convictions, a lie which is being systematically repeated. I do not believe in personal God, and I have never denied this but have expressed it clearly. If something is in me which can be called religious, then it is the unbounded admiration for the structure of the world so far as our science can reveal it. So when Einstein said about God, he basically means the universe and not the God which we believe, which has incarnation, who has written scriptures or who has said something in the scripture. He did not mean that. But nevertheless, who cares about what Einstein really thought? When it is suitable, Einstein quotes are frequently used to justify that science and religion are basically two sides of the same coin. And for this purpose, one of the quote of Albert Einstein is very frequently used: science without religion is lame, religion without science is blind. Now, this particular quotation has been said by Einstein in a particular context, but whether it is true. Now, first of all, what does Einstein mean by this particular quotation? This particular quotation is inspired by Aesop's fable of blind and lame men, which you are very much familiar. Here, the blind man cannot reach to his destination because he can't see. The lame man cannot reach to his destination because he can't walk. So both of them collaborate with each other. And accordingly, the blind man actually takes the lame man on his shoulder, who guides him, and ultimately both of them reach to their destination. So by this, Einstein, what he meant was that science and religion together must go, because together only they can achieve their goals. Now, Einstein here assumes that morality is basically something which is divine and hence within the domain of religion. And scientists can't find out how the morality is there based on rational thinking. So, what Einstein is saying here is that science can create great things, but ultimately, how the things has to be used in the ethical manner only religion can guide. So, what he is assuming is that by rational method, we cannot find the source of morality. And on the same way, by religious method, we cannot discover the things which the science can do. And that is why they must go together. That is probably the intention of Einstein. Very noble intention, because he wanted to synergize both science and religion. But let us understand that just because something has been said by Einstein, it is not true. Because religion provides very contradictory moral value, while science always provides you one theory, one principle. And it is also false on the part of Albert Einstein to assume that we cannot discover the ethical values based on rational thinking. There are many philosophers like Kant or other philosophers of the earlier times like Socrates, Aristotle and all. They have found many ethical values by rational thinking. The most important thing is that science and religion are totally contradictory to each other. Science is based on evidence, facts, reason, logic, while religion is based on faith. They are totally two different things. And there has been no proper reason which has been given by Einstein how they complement each other. So Einstein was a physicist and he was not an expert on religion. And that's why even though the quote comes from Einstein, you must take it with a pinch of salt and not accept as it is as a matter of fact. So friends, let us understand that the value of the quote must be evaluated on the basis of what is contained in the quote and not who said what. The quotes has to be discussed. It has to be debated, just like we debate any theory and discard it if we find that it does not have any merit. The source is totally irrelevant. Who said what is not important. Whether Albert Einstein had said or it is written in Gita or Quran or any other scripture, that is not important. What is important? Whether that is factually correct or not, whether we can establish it or not. So we should not be fooled by the quotations because of the source or authority. We have to evaluate that on merit, and only if it is right on the merit, and which can be very much true, then only we should accept it. So friends, we have learned today about the fallacy which happens because of the acceptance of the quote as a source of truth. We should be very much beware of that, use the quote very selectively, and always not be blinded by the source or authority. So I hope you got the lesson. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please share this video and give your comments. I would be very happy to reply to that. Thank you very much.